workers there. I walk to the right side. Out of my left eye, right? This one right here. This is the left one. Pay attention. The left eye, right? Look to the left. I see Caleb Gordon.
Hey, talking to myself. Welcome to the podcast. I know that you gon' feel Dave Sands the second, talking movies and gaming, even anime. Yeah, I might just go Super Saiyan. 242, the Bahamas, we gon' rep. Don't be anxious about nothing. Philippians 4:6. Sharing about my life, sharing about God's truth. Always keep it real when I'm talking to myself. Let's go.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Talking to Myself. Hey, Talking to Myself. With the host with the very most, Dave Sanz, numero dos. I am so excited, as I usually am, to have this microphone in my hand. That rhymed. That was really good. Listen, y'all. Wow. I am very excited for this episode. I am so happy to be here. I hope you all have had an amazing week. Happy weekend. What are we doing this weekend? Are we relaxing? Are we chilling? Obviously, you're listening to this episode. I hope that your week has gone well. I hope that you were able to accomplish everything you wanted to this week. And yeah, man, we're here. This is so exciting. Couple things we got to note. Number one, the setup has changed a little bit. Just a slight bit, and you may not notice it. But the way I used to record this episode was through a software. But I'm not doing that right now. So this audio is coming directly through my phone right now. And so because I could record natively through my phone, that means I could bump up my quality. So will I export this in 4K? We'll see. I should be able to. I hope it doesn't take that long to process. But, I just remember I forgot to get an accessory. Anyway, we move. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that part out later. Anyway, but yeah, we're upgrading slowly as we need to and as I feel so led. But yeah, we are here, man. I'm so excited to be here with all you. Episode 37, episode 37, man. We're almost at 40 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. That's crazy that I've been doing this for this long. Also, I'm still standing, which is, I guess, not a big deal. But I am standing. In this episode, once again, I actually need to stay kind of centered because I want to post some shorts. But in most of the last two episodes, I've just been moving around like this, just like, hey guys, I hope you're having an amazing day. I hope so for certain parts of the episode, I'm going to be kind of still because I want to be able to post some reels, from these episodes, to kind of increase the growth. That's how social media works nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, we most certainly and absolutely move. And yeah, man, I am so excited to get into this episode. Big episode for me. We're going to talk about the story, how I met Caleb Gordon. Probably some other stories as well. Just so much has happened last week. And it's such a blessing to be here with all of you once again. So with that being said, we are going to start this episode the only way we know how. And that is with PMS. PMS stands for physical, mental, and spiritual. That's the way I kind of look at life, ladies and gentlemen. So for those who are new here, who might be coming in, hi, hello, hope you subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way. We are 30 subscribers away from 100 subscribers. I had a goal this year to reach 100 subscribers. And hey, man, if we could reach that thing now, then we could be on the road to 1,000, right? And so, yeah, we are 30 subscribers away, of course. Podcast is everywhere. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. Boop, bop, beep. We know all that. But yes, PMS stands physical, mental, and spiritual. That is the way I look at my life. I feel like if I could balance out these three things, then I have a very fruitful and balanced life. And so, yeah, physically, I mean, come on. You know? Look. Ow, I think I pulled something. Anyway, no, but physically, doing pretty well. I have been on this challenge to work out every single day. And so I'm not afraid to talk about it now because yesterday I made it to 20 days. My goal is to do 30 days in a row. And so in the Lord's will, I definitely will make those 30 days. So that's a beautiful thing. So clap it up. You haven't clapped it up in a while. If you're on the road, probably don't clap it up. Don't go with the wheel. I'm just saying, just don't. But yeah, physically I'm doing pretty well, man. I've been focused. I've been disciplined, which is a big word that has been standing out to me with this challenge and this idea and thing that I want to do for my physical health. And so yeah, I've been doing pretty well in that category. Been learning that there are just so many things you could do physically, and that'll be its own separate video, hopefully. And so yeah, but physically doing well. Mentally, I mean, I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty good, man. Obviously, I mean, I met Caleb Gordon, so that's pretty cool. But mentally, I'm doing well. Easter break was really good. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. But yeah, man, I'm really good, man. Week's almost done. It was a short week, obviously, because of Easter Monday and the holiday. And it was such a beautiful thing, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I'm doing pretty well from a mental perspective, and I can't really complain too much, you know? I mean, you can always find something to complain about, but at the end of the day, still blessed, still alive, still pushing, right? Spiritually, still in the Word every single day. Still in the book of Job, which was last week's video. Still have so many chapters to go in Job. I think there's like 30 to 40 chapters in Job. So still reading through the conversations of Job and his friends, and you know how Job's friends are really not being friends, to be honest. They're just kind of ridiculing him, which is still a lesson you could learn from Job. But yeah, still each day still reading a chapter. So slowly but surely making my way through Job. Next book of the Bible that I read, probably going to pick a short one. One I could kind of like read pretty quickly and then maybe go into another one. But other than that, Job's been really cool. Still learning about him, and you know, we're still learning about the story of Job. But we move. So from all those perspectives, I'm doing pretty well, man. Pretty well. Sorry, let me just check something. I'm off screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't recall why I need to be off screen right now. Yeah, I have no idea why. I can't remember at all, to be honest. Okay, I'm just gonna come back and scream, and maybe I will remember. But yeah, there is so many things that I gotta talk about in this episode. So many things happened that allowed me to give the title of this video, right? But before that, I think I want to talk about the week leading up to, I guess, this day that I'm basically talking about. So essentially, you know, last week was Easter weekend, of course. For the Christian believer, it is dealing with the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so, you know, I went away last week, took a nice little break. It was a beautiful thing. And, you know, it was nice. So okay, I actually can't talk about that yet. Okay, now I remember what I need to talk about. Sorry, we're going to get to that, but there's something I need to talk about first. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have noticed, not anymore, but previously, that I had a blue check mark on next to my Instagram handle, my username, right? I got some messages from friends saying that, you know, oh, Dave, you made it, blue check mark, wow, you're doing amazing. And to myself, I was just like, well, I bought it. You know, you could buy it, right? Before, like, you know, back in my day, if you will, like, social media would give you that check mark only if you know, like, you know, if you were getting like fake accounts, so like for celebrities, for example, where a lot of fake accounts being met, things like that. So that's what that check mark is for, right? Nowadays, because I think Instagram and Facebook are together under the same umbrella, right? You could buy the check mark, right? Did you pay a subscription? It's just kind of like Netflix or whatever like subscription that you use in your life, right? And so I bought the check mark, and I had a purpose for that check mark, right? The purpose of the check mark was to do something that I've seen on YouTube done numerous times. On YouTube, there are a plethora of videos where when someone gets a check mark in Instagram, they would DM like 100 celebrities, 100 famous people, blah, 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 in hopes of getting a reply, right? And so I was taking inspiration from those videos because, well, as you kind of see, I've been getting into, doing interviews, right? And so that's the Journey series that I did with two of my close friends so far, and I want to get others on. And so I got the blue check mark in order to message some popular people, right? So whether it be Christian rappers or other YouTubers or artists or whoever it is, right? I wanted to get these individuals on the Talking to Myself podcast because I'm very aware that in order to grow the channel, well, you kind of have to, I got to put out good content, but also from that perspective, like they could help me grow the channel if I interview them, and then because of their name, then it could allow the channel to grow. All these different things. It was very calculated approach, right? And so I remember when the night I bought the check mark, and I was just like, here we go, baby. I spent my hard-earned money on this, and I'm just going to get so many DMs, and people are going to be like, yeah, I would love to come to the Talking Myself podcast with Dave Sands the second, and, we move, right? Not so true. In fact, I can't remember how many people I DM'd. Can't tell you. But I got 0 replies. So that was awesome. 0 replies, nothing back, not even a scene. On Instagram, you could kind of tell when someone's seen your message. It'll say like last seen, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't get anything, right? And so I waited over the course of those 30 days because, of course, it was a monthly subscription. Like most subscriptions are, you could do annually, monthly, whatever it is. And, of course, I didn't want to get billed again if this thing isn't working out. And so last week, I believe it was last week, like 24th, 25th, I believe it was. Yeah, sometime around last week, the subscription was going to be up, right? I believe it was like the 27th. I can't recall. But I knew I had a month to hopefully get someone to reach out to, someone I don't know and who has a following, all those different things, right? And so I canceled the subscription, and I kind of like said, all right, I think that just means I have to put in more work on my show and, grow the following, grow the show, all these different things, right? So cancel the subscription. I no longer have a check mark on my Instagram. And I just kind of let it be. It's just like, okay, I tried it. I had this idea. It didn't work out. That's fine. It is what it is. And that's why I didn't really talk about me getting a check mark. Obviously, you could see it. Like all my friends, family could see the check mark on my social media. But I never made like a statement about it on the pod because I was hoping at some point that I could say that, okay, I reached out to X amount of, make another video about it. I got the check mark, reached out to X amount of people, and this is why I was able to get on the show. And then, all those different things, right? I was planning to do hopefully a video when the experiment of doing that, but it didn't work out. So it is, we move, right? So now that provides a little bit of context, right? When to get the check mark, hopefully reach out to some of these popular individuals that I wanted on my show. Didn't work out, cancel the subscription, fine, cool. So as I mentioned last week, Easter weekend, went away, nice little holiday break. And so I was on the plane, and I didn't really feel like watching a movie or anything, scrolling through social media. When the plane was, still getting ready to take off, saw someone was talking about, the Easter story, and I said, I don't remember the last time I read the Easter story in its entirety. And obviously, it's the right time to read the Easter story because it's Easter, right? So this is the time to read it. So I read Matthew 26 to 28, right? I believe that's where it begins. Sorry, y'all, I'm off screen again. Matthew 26. Plot against Jesus, and then next one would be notice, and then 28 is Jesus risen. So Matthew 26 to 28, right, in its entirety. That's probably the most chapters of scripture I read by myself, because I wanted to understand the whole story, and I just had time. I just had time to do it. Obviously, it's a beautiful story. It's the greatest love story of all time, right? It talks about all aspects, the plot to get Jesus, and of course Judas' betrayal, and was it? Sorry, I'm off screen yet. Peter that did the denying 3 times. Peter, yeah. Peter does the denying, and all those things in the Garden of Gethsemane, which I didn't remember what Gethsemane was, and then we talked about Gethsemane, right? And then finally Jesus is risen, and so as I read it, I was just like, wow, what a beautiful story. When you really read the entire thing together, you just see like so many things that happen. But for me, it was just like I was asking myself why. Why would Jesus do something like this for a sinner like me, for someone who worries a lot, falls off the path, comes back on the path. Someone, for a sinner like me, right? I was asking myself that. It was just like really pondering on the plane. I was just so grateful that he did something like that because it is such a beautiful story. It is, right? It is the greatest love story of all time because he didn't have. Well, I mean, it was in God's plan for him to do it, but like the things that he had to go through to get there was so much, right? The ridicule, crown of thorns, the nails, the spitting, the ridicule, all those different things that he had to go through, right? It was just so much, but he did that for me, and it kind of was like that felt really personal to me, and so I felt so grateful, so that kind of heightened my trip a little bit because I was just like, wow, man, so grateful that I read the entire story, and I'm really happy what that meant to me. I'm so happy that he saved me and that I don't have to do all that because I definitely couldn't do all that. Everything that he went through, I'm just not as strong as he was, but he was able to do that, man. And so there's this beautiful story, and I ended up, just enjoying it. But like I mentioned before, I was asking the question of why. Why would he do that? And frankly, he did because he loves us, because he cares for us, right? And he wanted us to be saved so that we didn't have to go on the cross ourselves. Now we have the ability to be saved, of course, and then we have an opportunity. Once this life is over, we go to heaven and spend eternity with our Heavenly Father. It's just such a beautiful thing, right? And so, so I had that, right? So that was the Friday when I was traveling over. Saturday when I woke up, went to the mall, right? And so many things happened at the mall. So many things happened. First and foremost, I think I want to talk about this story. There was some young people. I can't give them an age range, and I can't remember the organization, but they were doing ministry there, right? And truthfully, I didn't know that they were doing ministry. One of the young men came up to me and was just like, "Can I talk to you about something?" I was just like, "No, I'm okay." I just didn't know what he was talking about, right? Something in my chest. It might have been the Holy Spirit. I was just like, was he going to talk about something biblical? I didn't know, right? If you know, and I went to the Florida Mall. If you know the Florida Mall, a lot of people are trying to sell you something. SpongeBob meme, right? It seems like someone wants to sell me something. And so, as you walk through the mall, perfumes, electronics, other knickknacks that I do not need, I kindly ignore them, and I just keep walking to where I need to go. And so I was taking a photo of this like Dragon Ball Z painting because it was really cool. It had like Goku and Vegeta. I thought that guy was like a worker there. I was just like, oh shoot, I'm sorry for taking a photo of the artwork. I didn't know I couldn't, but he was actually with this group of young people, doing ministry on Good Friday, right? Oh yeah. Sorry, this was on the Friday. I'm sorry, I said Saturday. This was on the Friday, and yes, so this happened on Friday. I traveled the evening before, right? So, okay, so yeah, Good Friday, right? And so I remember I was walking up into JCPenney's, as one does. I was looking for socks, okay? I couldn't find the socks. Where were the socks last time? I know this. I've been going to this JCPenney's since I was a wee lad. I know where the socks are. I couldn't find the socks this time. Maybe it wasn't the Lord's will for me. He didn't want me to find the socks, so I had to learn, right? Anyways, I go upstairs to the men's section. I take the escalator up. I see the same shirt that the young man was wearing, but I see like these guys have to be like leaders in the organization. I see them talking to a young man, and they're talking to him about Christ. I was just like, oh, okay. They're a Christian youth organization. Got it. And I believe the young man got saved. I was just like, wow, okay. Now I feel awful. Dang. I didn't want to what's the word I'm looking for? Not disrespect. I didn't want to discourage that young man. I was just like, dang. Now I have to go apologize. And so I went out of JCPenney's. I went downstairs. Couldn't find him. I was just like, okay. I couldn't find him. But I was not leaving that mall until I spoke to someone from this organization because I had to let them know I'm sorry And also, I love what you guys are doing because obviously it's Good Friday. Spoke to these two young ladies. I just said, hey, listen, there was someone from your organization. I didn't know what y'all were doing. I apologize. I'm sorry. I love what y'all doing. Had a great conversation. Of course, they prayed for me, which was really good. I prayed for them that they have a great day of ministry. And so, yeah. Moral of the story is, what's the moral of the story? Don't be afraid to apologize, maybe. So in that moment, I had to humble myself. I was just like, dang, I messed up. So apologize to them because I couldn't find the young man. And I really hope that they had a great, rest of their day. And I really hope that, and they were giving out these tracks. It was like, the front of it had like, I should take a picture. But I was just like showing them. Anyway, they had this picture up front of them. Like it was like, it's like a track with like Jesus opening the door. And so it's like letting Christ in. It was just like, it was a beautiful thing. And I was just like, okay, now I understand. So I really hope that they had success. Again, I'm glad I was able to kind of mend, even though I really didn't know what they were doing. But I really hope that they were successful. So that was one thing I learned on Good Friday. Like, hey, never be afraid to apologize. I'm not perfect. And yeah, humble myself, right? So now we could talk about Caleb Gordon, right? I gotta stay still because, yeah. So now we can talk about Caleb Gordon, right? And how, that kind of happened, right? So that story that I mentioned previously with the young people doing ministry was after I met Caleb, right? And so let's kind of break some things down. Okay, I'm gonna step out one. There's a lot of stepping out happening today, ladies and gentlemen. OCOEE. I'm just getting facts, right? Okay, so. Oh, I didn't know he played baseball. There's just so much information. Again. Okay. So okay. So let me paint the picture, right? So, first of all, who is Caleb Gordon? So Caleb Gordon is a Christian rapper, right? The first song that I heard of his was actually Rocky Road Part 2. It goes like, bright lights, flashing, fresh out the tomb like I'm Lazarus. When I heard that on Instagram, it was on someone's reel. I was just like, hold up, wait a minute, something is right. It was beautiful, right? It was just like, whoa, this is a slapper. I've never heard this before. I thought it was just a regular rapper. I didn't know he was a Christian rapper. And so when I dug into more of his music, I was just like, oh, okay, so he's a believer as well. So this works out perfectly. So I immediately added Rocky Road Part 2 and some other tracks he had, right? And other songs like Yesterday Gone, I think about that. Anyway, I'm saying too much, or I'm not. It's a podcast, right? He says this line, it's kind of like his tagline, OCOEE. OCOEE. Now, I could be very much wrong, but OCOEE is a place in Florida, right? And I think I may be right here because when I just Googled OCOEE Florida, it kind of brought up some info about Caleb Gordon. And yeah, so that's where he's from. I believe that's where he's from. OCOEE, Florida, right? And so I know he's from Florida because of that, but he also is going on a tour right now. And so he actually has a show happening in Orlando in May, right? And so I was thinking that, okay, before I was going away on this trip, I was just like, okay, maybe I could go and see him there. He also had like this meet and greet, so I could get like a ticket for the concert, and then I could meet him, and and chop it up, blah 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 blah, all these different things, right? I think I looked at it last week, right, where I was just like, I wonder if those, because there are different tickets. Obviously, you have general admission, then you have the VIP where you can meet him, all these different stuff. Looked at the one for Orlando. I see that VIP is sold out, right? So the opportunity to meet him is gone, right? I don't think I would have the time to go anyway, so I was just like, dang, well, I guess I'll, if he ever comes to the Bahamas, fine, that's when I'll meet him, right? And so I was in the mall, like I mentioned, right? And so I ain't gonna lie, I was feeling really good. I had me for lunch. If you've ever been to Florida Mall, bourbon chicken. I have a tradition in the Florida Mall, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you what that tradition is. Every time I go in the Florida Mall, two things have to happen. Number one, I go to that food court and I get the free sample of the bourbon chicken. I already know I'm going to buy it. I already know I'm about to get the 2 entree with rice special. I know that for a fact. That's who I am. That's built in my genes. Genes, not like the genes that you outstuff, right? That's built in my genes. I know that's going to happen, right? I know that's going to happen. So every time I go into Florida Mall, I get the free bourbon chicken because they go, yummy, yummy bourbon chicken. And I'm just like, yeah, it is yummy, yummy. It is. It is. It really is. It's really good, right? I get it. That's the noise that I get. And yep. And I go right on the line, pretending like I haven't been eating this bourbon chicken since I was like 8 years old, dude. Like I've been eating this bourbon chicken since I was an infant, dog. Listen, I've been in the game for a long time. Y'all don't even know about me in Florida Mall, dude. I have seen the Florida Mall change so many times when they had the old food court to the very wide expansion food court. This is not sponsored by the Florida Mall, by the way. I'll stop. I'm sorry. I just get really excited. I love the Florida Mall. It's my favorite place to go when I go to Florida. I'm just saying. Anyway, so I go there, right? Get my bourbon chicken. Sit down. Eat said bourbon chicken. Nom, nom, nom. I get the bourbon chicken, mixed veggies, and rice. Your boy still got to be fit. Like I said, physical is up right now. After that, they got Chick-fil-A in the mall. Just blessings everywhere, right? Go to Chick-fil-A. What do I get from Chick-fil-A? A vanilla milkshake. If you never had a vanilla milkshake from Chick-fil-A, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you're waiting for. Maybe waiting for Christmas. But boy, you better get that. Boy, hey, you better get that vanilla milkshake, right? So after having this lovely, yummy, yummy bourbon chicken, I had this yummy, yummy Chick-fil-A milkshake. I was feeling good. Like, bro, I was feeling good. I was just like, man, I was on cloud 9,000, over 9,000 DBZ. I was on a cloud. I was feeling really good. I was just like, now I gotta go buy stuff, I guess, right? And so after that, after I dispose of my bourbon chicken plate and my Chick-fil-A milkshake, it was time to go shopping, right? Walk around. First place I always got stopped, and I stopped to Uniqlo. Uniqlo. Not sponsored again. If they want to sponsor me, please do. Close the fire. That's where I get most of my fits now. Close fire. Drop the no, I'm just kidding. I just bought a couple items. But yeah, got a couple things from there, right? Then this is where decisions have to happen. I walk out of Uniqlo, right? I was going to turn right, to go down this part of the Florida Mall. I was just like, hold on, but the shoe stores are this way. They're to the left. So I said, okay, I'm not going to go right. I'm going to go left. Fine. So I go left, right? Again, if you know the Florida Mall, all the shoe stores are in like one area, right? I go in that area where all the shoe stores in. First place to stop, JD Sports, because, you know, I like JD Sports. It's really cool. So I walk in, look at some shoes. I was just like, these are nice, you know, they're really, they're clean, they're cool, whatever. They're really nice. Just walked around, fine. Now, across from JD Sports is a Champs, right? Champs Sports. Hold on, are they under the same umbrella? Anyway, I don't know. Champs, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I walk into Champs. This is my walking into Champs walk. Walking into Champs. Gonna see the same shoes I saw on JD. Anyway, walking to Champs, right? I maneuver to the right side of the store, I think. I walk through some of the workers there. I walk to the right side. Out of my left eye, right? This one right here. This is the left one. Pay attention. The left eye, right? Look to the left. I see Caleb Gordon. Now, I didn't know if it was Caleb, right? Because I just didn't know. I didn't know. But my heart kind of sinks in because I was just like, hold on, is that Caleb Gordon? I was just like, kind of looks like Caleb. He was walking with his wife, and I'm assuming they're doing some shopping. So I couldn't find them, right? Yeah, so I saw him. I was just like, okay, I think that's Caleb Gordon. Dude, I think he like slightly turned to the right. I was just like, no way, it's Caleb Gordon. I was like, what? And nobody knows this in the store. Nobody but your boy. Me. I was just like, So many things rush through my head. Now, I don't know if any of you have experiences of meeting and well, not meeting, but seeing people that you see on social media. But it is this weird, it's this weird like thing you have to process in your brain because you're only so used to seeing these people online. Not that they're not real persons, obviously they are, but it's like you don't expect to see these persons in your regular strolling chams when you're just looking at some kicks. You don't expect it. You don't expect that to happen. I've had that situation a second time. I mean, I had that situation before, which will probably maybe could be another episode. But dude, I was just like, bro, it's Caleb Gordon. I was just like, what? What's happening right now? So I'm trying to remember. I think him and his wife like turn in, and I was just like, bro, are you Caleb Gordon? And he's like, yo, what's up, man? I dap him up. I was just like, I'm a fan of your music. I couldn't even remember what I said, bro. Like, I was so confused because I didn't expect it to happen. Like, what do you do when you see like someone like one of the rappers that you listen to, like in person? Like, it's hard. I've sometimes pretended to be I've sometimes pretended to play out that scenario. Like, when I'm gonna be like, hey, bro, what's going on? You know, when it was there for the Bahamas, blah, 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 all these different things. I'm glad I kind of did that. I don't remember the last time I kind of played out that situation in my head, but I was just like, bro, are you Caleb Gordon? Like, I couldn't be like, hey, Caleb, what's going on? No, we don't know each other like that. I have to be like, hey, are you Caleb Gordon? Obviously, I know it's Caleb Gordon. I know this for a fact, right? But it's just like, yeah, bro, what's up? I dap him up, you know? I'm trying to remember what I said. I told him, like, hey, man, I'm a fan of you. You know, I'm from the Bahamas. I saw like you and your wife did a podcast. You guys did really well. And then she was looking. I said, "Hi, Dave. Nice to meet you." And she was like, "Hey, this is Dave." And I was just like, "Bro, wow." I was just like, he's like, "You're from the Bahamas?" I was like, "I see you're going on tour." And he's like, "Yeah, it's from the Bahamas." I was like, "Oh, he may come out." She's like, "That'd be awesome." And I was like, "Bro, I would love to have you on a podcast in the future." I didn't tell him that the name was Talking to Myself, or I wasn't trying to like market Talking to Myself. I was just like, in the future, you know, hopefully, maybe one day, I just would love to have you on a podcast. And he was just like, you know, maybe if he comes down to the Bahamas, we could do it. I was just like, okay, cool. I was just like, okay, great. He's like, bro, can I get a picture with you? And so, yeah. He's like, yeah, bro. And so, first off, he's tall. I didn't really, he's got to be like, I'm 5'4". He's got to be like 5 something, 9, 10, something like that. He was definitely tall, right? His wife takes the photo, dab him up. I told him, have a good play, you know, God bless you. And I walk out of Champs. And I'm freaking out. I was like, I was just like, what just happened? I was so confused. I had so much adrenaline, y'all. Y'all don't even understand. I had so much adrenaline. So much adrenaline. Like, what? I met Caleb Gordon. Nobody else knew. No one, at least I don't think so. Maybe other people met him before I got into the store. But I met him, bro. And though I'm glad I didn't stay in the store because I would have been like freaking out. So Lily dapped him up, got the photos, said thank you to him and his wife, left the store. I don't care about the shoes anymore, bro. I don't care what's in there. I just met Caleb Gordon. That's crazy, right? I remember I was just walking around, like I walked into like Foot Locker. I was just like, bro, I met Caleb Gordon. I don't really care about these shoes right now. I'm trying to sit down and focus right now. So that's what I did. I had to sit down. And obviously, your boy got to post this. This is a crazy moment. I posted it. And, you know, the rest was history, man. It was a crazy thing. So, yeah, man, shout out to Caleb Gordon and Mistress Gordon. A beautiful thing. Pleasure to meet you all. Hope you come to the Bahamas sometime. Let's vibe. Put on a concert here. Bring Alex Jean. Bring Forwards Frank. Bring Hovey. Bring them all. Let's vibe. Bring them here. Why not? You know? Pray that they, you know, continue to see Christ just like myself, you know. Hope they stay on the path. And I pray for myself and pray for all of you that we all stay on the path. Like, it was just such a beautiful thing. And then, yeah. And why did I mention the verified checkmark? It was because Caleb Gordon was one of the people that I messaged to be on the show. So I don't know if it was the Lord saying, hey, Dave, maybe this will happen. Or just, hey, like, just stay diligent, stay faithful to me, and everything that you desire will, happen. But I was just like, wow, I guess maybe I could just meet these guys in real life and not have to necessarily buy a $15 check mark to do that, right? And so I guess we can say mission success. Like, I didn't get a DM, I didn't get a response back, but I got a photo and I got a real life interaction, which is crazy. Lord works in mysterious ways, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not saying that, if you read your word, you're going to meet like famous people. But what I will say is that if you continue to seek Christ and continue to seek God, he knows the desires of our hearts. And if it's in his will, amazing things will happen, right? And so that was just so amazing to me. Again, when I kind of talked about, reading Matthew 26:28, I was asking why me when God sent Jesus to die on the cross for my sins. And then now I'm asking why me. Was like, why was I was the one to meet Caleb Gordon, I would say randomly, but it was on Good Friday, and boy did it was on Good Friday, I had, after that, y'all, I had the best Friday of my life. Met Caleb Gordon. Did some great shopping, had some great food. Like, at this point, I'm just really just enjoying life, and whatever God brings, and hopefully I can just stay on his path, and I'll just accept whatever he decides to provide for me. But it's a beautiful thing, man. And so, yeah, that's the episode. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. Of course, follow and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this podcast. And yeah, man, I cannot wait to see y'all next week for whatever this brain kind of comes up with in terms of what I want to talk about. Yeah. But, as always and per usual, I see y'all next time. And we move! Woo! What an episode. Yes, sir.